Thank you, Chairman Schuler. Next up, we have Mr. Don Thomas. He's the owner and president of Thomas Motors Incorporated in Moberly, Missouri. He has spent his entire life and raised his family in rural Missouri, has been a General Motors dealer for over 34 years, selling Chevrolets, Buicks, Pontiacs, Cadillac, and GMC cars and trucks. Thomas Motors is a family-owned operated business that recently renovated its entire operation from the exterior of the building to the service department and the showroom. Welcome, Mr. Thomas. I look forward to your testimony.
Chairman Schuler, Ranking Member Lukemeyer, and members of the subcommittee, thanks for having me. My name is Don Thomas. I'm owner of Thomas Motors in Moberly, Missouri. I've spent my entire life in rural Missouri, 15 miles from my dealership. I have a GM dealership since '75. We represent Chevrolet, Buick, Pontiac, Cadillac, and GMC. We have no non-GM brands. We're a family-operated business. We treat our customers and our employees fairly. I think that's reflected in our customer satisfaction scores of the dealership and the tenure of our employees. We comply with all the GM operational policies and procedures, and we compete fairly with GM and non-GM dealers. Sales have fallen since 1975 due to the overall decline in the domestic auto sales, but even in a down economy, our unit sales and profits are good. This year, to date, we've sold 117 new vehicles, including our GM program cars in addition to our used cars. We have a modern, updated facility. Our location is excellent. We're on a new divided highway just a mile from the shopping center, just a mile south of the junction. We've got a new modern facility, updated facility. It's 21,000 square foot. We have 12 service bays. Our showroom will accommodate 5 vehicles. We have 4 acres of paved parking. In 2000, GM came out with a project they called Image 2000, Project 2000. We complied with that. We spent a little over $300,000 on the facility. 2004, we finished the renovation, spent another little over $200,000. We paid for that all out of the dealership profits. Our dealership is debt-free. Thomas Motors is the only dealership in a 7-county area. Those 7 counties consist of approximately 200,000 people. The local fire departments, schools, farmers, everybody around, they depend on us for service. Since July of this year, January to July, we've completed 2,600 repair orders for GM vehicles. Now, I've calculated the distance, if we weren't here, that those customers would have had to have driven to get the respective car worked on, make and model, and they would have had to have driven in excess of 55 miles one way. I've talked to many of my loyal customers from Moberly and around the areas, and they said they simply would not drive, could not drive the 45 or 50 miles one way at minimum to get the car worked on. Randolph County is a population of 30,000 people. The income is approximately 40,000 people. It's a rural area, but it's a thriving area. Just across the street from us, they just opened up a new Lowe's home store, brought 120-some new jobs. They just opened up a new biodiesel plant in our town, first one in the state, brought over 100-plus jobs. The hospital, which is right next door to us, just completed a big renovation. The airport, they added on, now it's a regional airport. Moberly's got a Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury dealership. It's got a Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep dealership. The courthouse is here. It's got 2 colleges, the training center, prisons here. It's got 8 major banks. It's got 3 radio stations. It's got Norfolk and Southern's got a terminal here. There's 7 or 8 factories. There's approximately 7,000 people working in Moberly. The elimination of Thomas Motors, I think, would have a very negative impact on the entire area. We have 25 employees. We hire some school help and schools out just to give them a job. Our payroll is in excess of $1 million a year. In June of this year, I received a letter from GM saying that our franchise was going to be wound down by 2010. We can stay in business till then, selling the cars we have. We can buy or dealer trade 2010 units, but we can't order them from the factory. The thing that really concerns me, when I get this letter, there's no objective criteria whatsoever how they made that decision. When GM filed bankruptcy, they filed in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in New York. They told the court they was going to use a dealership evaluation process. They would objectively consider the dealership sales, their customer satisfaction, their capitalization, the profitability, the dealer return on investment, the customer convenience, the drive time metrics, shifting market demographics. If you look at that, look at those facts, we excel on every one of them but one. If we had known we'd had a deficiency in vehicle registrations, we could have corrected that. If they'd only used the objective criteria that they said they were going to use, if they would look at us and use those criteria, there'd be no question we'd be there. Our profit the last 10 years has been in excess of $275,000 a year when you add back our LIFO deduction and the excess allowable IRS deductions. Our capitalization is in excess of $1.5 million. That's $1 million more than GM guidelines. Year to date this year, even in a down economy, our profit is in excess of $190,000. We live in a rural community, and I don't know how many ball teams, school uniforms, scholarships, all the things we contribute to. There's no telling how many dollars. You know, the school I graduated from needed a van just here a while back. They didn't have any money, so I just gave them one. I'm sorry. I mean, we donate to everything. If we weren't there, I don't know what the Moberly community would really do. Those people can't drive 50 or 75 miles to get their car worked on. You know, we provide the city with most of their vehicles. Just the other day, they come out and asked me to bid 4 vehicles for the city. I couldn't do it. I couldn't bid them. We can't get them. They said they don't know what they're going to do. If we're gone, they won't have competitive bidding. It'll cost them, they've expressed great concern what they're going to do. They'll just have to buy, and because they can't take them, they can't buy what they can't get serviced, and the Ford dealer will get them all. And, you know, GM just come up with a deal here just the other day. I can't understand it. They had a deal, they're going to pay the General Motors dealers, that's the going forward dealers, to upgrade their facility. They're going to work with GMAC to get them more floor planning. I've been running the business for 35 years. My place is paid for. I've done all the upgrades. I don't need GM to help me with my floor planning. I got it. I mean, I don't need your help. You know, I've done everything that GM's asked me to do. Our CSI score and our SSI score is above the zone. It's above the region. That's a questionnaire or survey that GM sends out to all the GM customers and gets feedback on. We're ahead of them always. GMAC tiers their customers. That's the wholesale group that does floor planning for dealers. They have 3 tiers. We've got the highest rating that GM offers. Since January of this year, General Motors has lost 6 dealerships within a 100-mile radius of me. And I can tell you some of them's cost GMAC a lot of money. But still, they want to pour more money on some of these dealers that can't make it. I just don't understand. I've tried to figure the reasoning, what GM could be possibly thinking about to get rid of dealers that's making money, that's doing what they're supposed to do. I just dealer traded just in the last 3 or 4 weeks with some so-called going forward dealers. Got a letter, they're going to stay. They're going to stay in business. One of them, GMAC, was holding their MSOs. I don't know how in the world they're going to stay. Another one, GMAC had them cut off. They couldn't take any cars back. Another one, GMAC, they were full. I could get their car, but they couldn't take something back either. Now, how in the world is General Motors going to take our tax money and put it in those dealers and help them, prop them up, when they got dealers like me and I don't need any of their help? I've done everything they've asked me to do. Now I'm selling their cars and making money. I got over $1 million a year payroll. I just had a conversation just a few days ago with the branch manager of GMAC. He told me he had 200 dealers that he had sent demand letters to. He said a lot of those, some of those, he said, were going forward dealers. He said they had to pay off with 30 to 60, 90 days. He said they can't stay. They're going out of business. But they still got, part of them got going forward dealers. He said, I've got 200 more on the watch list that's going to be cut off after that. I just don't understand it. If I'm gone, if I'm out of Moberly, there'll never be another GM dealer there. There's, you know, it cost $2 million to build a dealership like mine. And where are they going to get the money? If they had the money, they wouldn't put it in there, seeing what GM's already done to them. They're losing money, and if they had to go borrow the money, they wouldn't do it. And GMAC, GM is working with a deal with GMAC. Now they're going to help those dealers get more money. It's just going to take more tax money and throw it after good money after bad. If the dealers can't make money, if they can't stay, they can't stay. You can't keep propping them up, but if a dealer that's making money and is doing business, what do they want to kick him out for? You know, we've got people that, I just did a deal just Thursday. I knew it was coming down here to see how long it'd take to go for a customer to go for his service. I had him to start in Moberly, at the post office in Moberly, and drive to Columbia. He left at 7:30. I told him drive down and turn around and drive back. Just see how long it took. It took him 2 hours and 10 minutes. If you ever went to Columbia, where there's 200,000 plus students, and try to get there at work time and see how much traffic you got and how long it takes. How's a farmer going to go there and do that? I mean, this is not just getting rid of me or Thomas Motors. It's the whole community. You know, I've got 25 people that my payroll is over $1 million a year. And I don't understand it. We've got a good business. I've excelled in everything GM's ever asked me to do. I need no help from them financially. My business needs no help financially. I got a new, modern place. Moberly is growing. They've got so much to offer, but still they want to get rid of us. And there'll never be another GM dealer in Moberly if I'm gone. And where's those people going? Ford's going to get them all.
Thank you, sir, for your testimony.